Question number 9, Dr. Russell Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for the Environment and asks, does he agree with the Cawthron Institute that despite his government's national policy statement for freshwater management, the condition of New Zealand's lakes, rivers and wetlands is likely to continue to decline for several more years and possibly much longer? If not, why not?
The Honourable Dr. Wayne Mapp.
On behalf of the Minister of Environment, no. The report makes the incorrect assumption that regional councils will be too slow in acting on the new national policy statement to improve water quality. The experience last month since the NPS took effect is that regional councils are taking the requirement to step up their management of freshwater very seriously. There has previously been no national direction for regional councils to improve water quality, and while some have criticised the policy as being too tough, others as too soft, all have welcomed at least some clear direction from government on water quality.
Dr. Russell Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is the Cawthron Institute wrong when they say that his government's own irrigation subsidies, the possibly $400 million in irrigation subsidies the government has talked about, are likely to result in further intensification of land use and further decline in our lakes, rivers and wetlands?
The Honourable Dr. Wayne Mapp.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, of course the Cawthron report is actually one of opinion, not actually a scientific survey. In fact, no irrigation schemes will be eligible for government funding unless environmental planning and conditions are met, which includes in fact the national policy statement as well. The government has in fact increased spending on waterways by 500% over the last 3 years. So, for instance, in the 5-year period commencing 2009, $94 million will be spent compared to $16 million in the previous 5 years.
Dr. Russell Norman.
Does the Minister think it's a paradox that on the one hand his government is increasing spending dramatically to clean up the mess created by earlier intensive agriculture projects, and on the other hand it plans to subsidise hundreds of thousands of hectares of new intensive irrigated projects to increase water pollution? On the one hand you're spending money to clean it up, and on the other hand you're spending money to create it.
The Honourable Dr. Wayne Mapp.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, I think actually the member may not have heard the previous answer. No new irrigation schemes will be eligible for government subsidy unless they have a plan to deal with the potential increased runoff, and that is in fact one of the conditions of such a subsidy.
Dr. Russell Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the Minister therefore provide a guarantee that not a single dollar will be paid in irrigation subsidies without a guarantee that there will be no downstream environmental negative effects on water quality?
The Honourable Dr. Wayne Mapp.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, obviously in any such application all the factors of the risks will be properly assessed on a scientific basis, unlike this particular report, which is in essence a matter of opinion.
Dr. Russell Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Point of order.
Point of order, Dr. Russell Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I seek leave to table the Cawthron report, implications of the National Policy Statement on Freshwater Management that was released June 2011.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is no objection. Dr. Russell Norman, point of order.
Mr. Speaker, I seek leave to table a statement by Professor David Hamilton debunking the Yale report on water quality, which has repeatedly been used by the Minister from this year, Mr. Speaker.
Is this a personal letter or is it a...
It is a media statement by Professor David Hamilton. It is not otherwise publicly available.
Order. It's not
publicly available.
It's not been published in New Zealand media?
No, that's correct.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is no objection.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Dr. Russell Norman, point of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I seek leave. I've got 4 documents here, so perhaps I'll do them as one block. These are from water scientists in New Zealand, all of which are raising concerns about the National Policy Statement on Freshwater Management. They're published by the Science Media Centre. They're from Professor David Hamilton. They're from Dr Mike Joy, Professor Jenny Webster-Brown and Angus McIntosh, Professor at University of Canterbury.
Leave us sort of table those documents. Is there any objection? There is no objection. Brendan Burns.
Supplementary question to the Minister. Will the Minister confirm that where the Land and Water Forum he established to consider the National Policy Statement on Freshwater Management made just 4 modest changes to the Board of Inquiry's version, he allowed the Cabinet to insert 19 more changes, none of them protecting the environment for which he holds the ministerial warrant?
The Honourable Dr Wayne Mapp.
On behalf of the Minister, the Cabinet took a balanced approach to this, balancing obviously the need to improve water quality, but also to improve growth.
Question. I beg your pardon. Is this further supplementary?
No.
Question number 10, though, would be next. Katrina Shanks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.